Program Director, the Nolan family, comrades, and fellow mourners. Our sincere condolences to the family of Father Albert Nolan and to the many, many people who experience his kindness, compassion, and his fervent belief in the good of humanity. As a young student during the 1980s, first in Eastern Cape and later in Cape Town, it was because of priests, reverends, the mulanas, mfundisis, imams, and pastors like Father Albert Nolan that churches, mosques, and temples became integrally linked to the struggle for justice and freedom. But not only their buildings as places of safety when we were chased by the apartheid security forces, but also venues for political activities. Our religious leaders, like Father Albert Nolan, were found in the forefront of our marches, our funerals, our rallies, and often placing their bodies as barriers between the people and the might of the police and the army. These include the women such as Sister Bernard Ngube, Auntie Bibi, Comrade Veliswe Mshlauli, who passed away recently, Dr. Brigelia Bam, and the many women who form the foundations of our religious institutions. They were the ones that gave us the Kairos document. Many of those who signed it were detained and brutalized by the police, and others like Father Nolan had to go into hiding. The Kairos document, although meaning crisis, became a beacon of hope in a very terrible situation. It told us that God sides with the oppressed, that Christians, if they are not doing so already, must quite simply participate in the struggle for liberation and for a just society. This generation of religious leaders made us to understand and appreciate contextual and liberation theology. Comrades and fellow mourners, Father Albert Nolan was special amongst these category of very special people. His conviction, humility, persistence, and unwavering commitment to the cause of social justice have inspired my generation and many from across the world. He was amongst those rare breed that were able to straddle the divide between theory and practice with seeming ease. As a theologian, he was an intellectual giant, as the books he authored and the speech that he made bear testimony. I want to refer in particular to the lecture he made on the occasion when he received the Master in Sacred Theology from the Dominican Order in 2008, titled Hope in an Age of Despair. In this statement, Father Nolan reflects how today, across the world, we live in an age of despair, when previous ages were characterized by hope. I quote, "For centuries," he wrote, "we experience hopefulness and optimism of one kind or another, political, economic, scientific, and religious. Now suddenly, everyone has been plunged into a state of despair. This is our new context, or at least the most deeply felt mood of our time." He went on, "In this context, we as Christians are called upon to give an account of the hope that is in us," end of quote. He analyzed these various ages of hope, which I advise all of us to read as an example, excellent example of historical materialist analysis. Most importantly, Father Nolan defines hope for us not to just rely on institutions or leaders or even ideology, that hope for us should be always the common good, the best for all of us together, whatever is best for all of us, whatever is best for all of creation, end of quote. Thus, Father Nolan in 2008, like his generation did during the struggle against apartheid, called upon us to participate in the struggle for a just society. He acknowledges that hope and therefore social activism in an age of despair is very difficult. But as he said elsewhere in his writing, social activism needs a personal and spiritual underpinning. It is this personal and spiritual underpinning that Father Albert Nolan spoke about, which we need to explore, practice, advance, and fight for as we talk about the renewal of the ANC and our society. These include the values we stand for and practice as individuals, institutions, collectives, and organizations. It includes unpacking what fighting for the common good means today, when it seems that our national democratic project has been delayed, captured, and or stalled. The social activism and hope that he therefore talks about should form the basis of the renewal of our revolution that we all seek the struggle for the common good and for whatever is best for all creation, including our environment. Let us therefore pick up the spear of Father Albert Nolan, Hamba Kashle. Thank you very much.